Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace. Have the best day ever at the Butterfly Palace. The Springfield Greene County Park Board reminding you to go play, and Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Here we are. It's Wednesday, already Wednesday. It seems like it's been a quick week so far, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does actually. It feels like that to me too, which is great because last week felt really, really long. So, yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why. It did. So here we are.
News.
All right. Last night, as you know, was a big night in New Hampshire for the presidential primaries. Donald Trump pulled out the victory for the Republicans and, of course, President Biden for the Democrats. It is looking like a 2020 rematch is very likely. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley was really the last major challenger for Trump after Governor DeSantis ended his presidential bid over the weekend. So it's looking like a showdown once again between Trump and Biden. And of course, Missouri will get to caucus this year, which I'm very excited about.
And New Hampshire was the state for Nikki Haley. She was really expecting to do well there.
Yes, lots of time and lots of money.
Lots of money there. And to not win, I think, is a blow for her.
Pretty sizably. So, yes. All right. A 49-year-old man died in custody in the Greene County jail. Michael Hill was found unconscious on Monday morning inside his cell. By the time officers arrived to do CPR as they were doing their rounds, it was just too late. Of course, they called 911. EMS also came in to try to do CPR. Investigators say they do not believe that there was any foul play, but an autopsy is underway. He was in jail for domestic assault.
Okay. Now, not too much longer now before taxes are due. In fact, you can start filing income taxes as early as Monday. And right on cue, a major tax preparer is in some trouble. The TC has ruled tax has deceived customers by advertising its tax services as free. No doubt you've seen those commercials and ads. But in many cases,
I will say the TurboTax ad is catchy. It's catchy.
Okay. I don't know that I can recall it, to be honest with you, but I know that I've seen TurboTax ads. But the bottom line is the FTC says in many cases it is not free, so the ad is not correct. The order says that the company must either stop advertising itself as free or make sure its services are, in fact, free for customers, for all customers. So
makes sense to me.
See what happens there. Yeah. Missouri's governor, meanwhile, will deliver his State of the State address today. Governor Parson will speak from the Capitol building at 3 p.m. He is expected to talk about expanding broadband internet across rural Missouri, child care costs, economic development, and more. Those are some of the highlights. Afterward, a Democratic response will come from Springfield Representative Crystal Quaid.
Yes. And I like how you once again said Missouri because you were talking about rural broadband access. So you had to say Missouri instead of Missouri. It just makes sense.
Rural is a weird word to say.
It's a hard word to say. I tried not to say it on live television, but I decided that I could nail it, and now you're making fun of me for it. So it's fine. Here is a sign of the times, you might call it. Theft is apparently picking up at stores. Specifically, where do you ask? At the self-checkout, which Mr. Foreheads was never a fan of anyway. New
that's
research,
bound to happen. I mean, I think you got to factor that in.
People are not scanning their items.
Well, you have to factor in those losses. If you're going to save the cost of paying people, that's going to happen. None of us has been trained as a checker.
Babe. No, listen. I
was a checker.
First of all, you were a checker at Schnucks.
I was a checker.
Secondly, you cannot tell me that people are accidentally forgetting to pay for their items. People, it's called theft. That's what it's called, theft. And even if Walmart doesn't see you, God does. You better watch out. Drexel University says that they are stores, not just Walmart, but stores in general are losing a ton of money on theft. They call it like missing items or whatever, since it's like not being properly scanned, but that's a load of crap. That's not on accident. I don't believe it for 1 second. Anyway, they're also losing customer loyalty. Apparently, the research shows that if you have a face-to-face interaction with a cashier, you are much more likely to return to that store. So maybe they're shooting themselves in the foot in more ways than one.
Well, I have seen there's a lot more options for actual cashiers now at some of the stores that I've been to. They're adding that option back in. They went from a bunch to almost zero to now they're adding them back in. And at some of the places, some of the big name places, you have a choice. You're standing in that initial line and that big corral, and they say, would you like self-checkout or would you rather have a cashier?
Right.
You can choose then. If you have a cart full of stuff, I'm going to go with a cashier.
Yeah. So it's interesting because the lady at Harder House, I don't actually know her name, but I am loyal to her. And I feel like she's loyal to me because I will run in there if I'm just grabbing something super quick and she will say, hey, Sarah, how are you doing? Like she like knows me and says hi. And like, she's so friendly. And so
I think you should find out her name.
And now I ask her about her granddaughter. She helps care for her granddaughter. So I always ask about her granddaughter. And I don't, but it's true. Like it makes me go in there because I like to every once in a blue moon say hello and how are you? You know, I don't know. Anyway, I am fitting the bill for their research. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of theft, a lot of us have iPhones or Apple products. Not Ethan, because he likes to stick it to the man. So he doesn't. But for the rest of us, this story is for you. A new update.
For the rest of you sheep, go ahead.
An update as if your phone is not listening to every word you say. Because
my phone is. Yeah, okay. I guess it is.
So back to the story. A new update is available for iPhones called the Stolen Device Protection. It makes it harder for a thief to break into your phone if they get it. If you're away from one of your typical locations, then you're going to have to scan your face and your fingerprint, wait for an hour-long security delay, and then rescan your face or your finger in order to get into your personal information on your phone. I think it's genius. It's going to be a pain in the butt if you land on a work trip somewhere that's not really your typical place. And you can't like get into your phone if you need to for an hour.
But why wouldn't you be able to get into your phone if you need to?
Well, if you have on the stolen, you have to opt to turn it on. So it's not just on there willy nilly, but if you turn on the stolen device protection, it's going to be harder to get into like any sensitive information, like your bank account, things like that.
Even if you have the code, even if you know the code or number or whatever it is.
If you know what, I don't know. No, I think if you're logging in from a non-typical location for yourself, you're going to have to log in once, but then you're going to have to wait an hour and log in again to get in.
That's a long time.
Right. If you're traveling for business. But I mean, on the other hand, theft is apparently a problem. So I think it's a good feature if you want to opt in.
Okay. Back here locally, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Ozarks need you to help out a child, to love on a child who needs a positive adult role model in their life. 1 in 3 kids, we're told, does not have that, and that's sad. Here in Springfield, a local office needs to fill more than 130 spots for youth anxiously awaiting someone to mentor them, to be a big brother or a big sister. Right now, we're in the National Mentoring Month right now. So Big Brothers, Big Sisters is putting out the all call for help. You can check them out on social media for more information on how to get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the Ozarks. Great organization.
Do you remember my little sister?
A lot of good. Yeah, I do.
I still talk to her. Hello, Nicole, if you're watching. In fact, she watches our podcast sometime. She's doing extremely well. And I mentored her for about 4 years. And it was super great because
that was right when we were dating. We started dating during that time. Yeah.
And it didn't say this on the Big Brothers Big Sisters press release, but just so you know, whenever I mentored, they gave you a bunch of like freebies. So it wasn't super cost prohibitive. Like for instance, we would go hang out at the YMCA in the hot tub. And that was before I had a membership. And we would get to go in for free with our Big Brothers Big Sisters pass. And she loved the hot tub. She was young, she was 8 or 9 years old at the time when I first got her. So anyway, there's lots of fun stuff that you get a big discount or free to do with your little. And I mean, truly, we still talk. I literally talked to her a month ago. And she
That's
would
great.
say that it made a big impact. I mean, I didn't feel like I was doing much, but apparently it meant something to her. So anyway, there you go. Big brothers, big sisters, give them a ring. Today is the day the annual Share a Heart campaign kicks off to help Springfield's 2 Ronald McDonald houses. Nearly 16,000 families have stayed at a local Ronald McDonald house whenever they needed a home away from home. Most typically when the child is in the hospital and the parent doesn't live anywhere close to the hospital. So they're having to travel back and forth. So that's where they step in. So you're going to start seeing those hearts for sale at 70 local restaurants who are taking part. So you buy a heart for just a couple of dollars. All of the money goes to the Ronald McDonald House. You post you and your heart, like the one that you bought, you post it on social media. You can tag them, and then you could win some awesome prizes.
I love the Ronald McDonald House. I love the idea of that. It's such a thoughtful thing to do, to take care of families while they're really hurting, dealing with sick kids. So I love the Ronald McDonald House. Hope they do well on the fundraiser.
Go. Yeah.
Good stuff. Hey, we want to let you know we have some podcasts, a lot of podcasts here on Around the Ozarks, and an easy way to get to all of them. If you haven't done it yet, we're going to get on you until you do it. It's the Around the Ozarks app for your smartphone. You want to get this. It's one-stop shopping right there. With the Around the Ozarks app, you have access to the audio versions of all of our podcasts in one place. You have us, Sarah and me, Around the Ozarks in 5. You have Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer, which you don't want to miss. Rewind with Woody and Janet, which is super fun. Sports Scene with Scott Purrier. He's fairly new to the family, doing a great job. And Ned Talk. Ned's not new to anything. Ned Talk with Ned Reynolds. He's our favorite, and he is part of the Around the Ozarks family as well.
Yeah, you guys, Ned is seriously the best. He really is. You need to watch all of them. They're just good. Also, if you want the video version, we have that on the app as well. You can just click on the banner and you'll get to watch the video version if you would prefer it. We know that on Facebook and social media, sometimes it gets lost. The order of when it was recorded gets lost, but the app makes that super easy to see them in order so that the news is fresh for the day, not day old news. So yeah, you can listen to us or watch us anytime, anywhere, get the forecast, get the sports scene, and all the things happening around the Ozarks. So go to your app store on your smartphone and just download the free Around the Ozarks app.
Yeah, tell your friends, share it with your friends, and we appreciate you watching. We appreciate you listening, because we know you have lots of choices these days. But what we want to do, give you a little local news, the stuff that you need to know, and have a little bit of fun in the process. So we hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. It's January 24th, and we have some areas of dense fog in the Ozarks this morning. So be very cautious if you're heading out the door right now. Dew point temperatures very close to actual temperatures. There's been some rain on the radar overnight. That is getting close to wrapping up and getting out of here. However, we'll be left with low visibility in a few places. So I think in spots, visibility could drop below a half mile. It may be one of those situations where you kind of drive in and out of it on the morning commute. Be very cautious this morning, and remember to use the low beams. Temperatures are generally in the low 40s, so it's a nice mild start to the day compared to all that cold weather that we had around just 1 week ago. I expect that we see conditions that are really pretty mild today. Temperatures are going to start in the 40s. We're warm into the 50s in highs across the area today. So temperatures very mild, and those rain showers that have been on the radar yesterday evening and overnight tonight are now wrapping up before yet our next opportunity for rain arrives. That's this evening. Temperatures this week are pretty nice, but we have quite a lot of moisture heading our direction. Another frontal boundary will move through late this evening, resulting in some light rain showers for us. We have a south breeze most of the day today, and then the cold front arrives, and that'll bring us another chance for rain. So not necessarily raining during the daylight hours today, but we are starting with low visibility and then more rain moving in this evening, probably around 5 p.m. for most spots. As we look at the radar picture this morning, we've got rain showers widespread. It has been wet for the Dallas area back up through much of the Gulf. And the heavy rain today is actually spanning from Texas back through portions of the lower Mississippi Valley. Heavy rain, heavy thunderstorms, even some flooding potential there. Luckily, we don't have too many issues with that in the Ozarks, but it's been a good little soaking rainfall for us. And with more on the way tonight, we'll have to watch some of our low water crossings later this week too. Low visibility still possible for some on the morning drive. I think that'll be a concern through mid-morning until we see those temperatures start to push closer to 50 degrees. That's when we see visibility really begin to improve. And then more rain showers are in the forecast, as I mentioned, with that frontal boundary that arrives late tonight. Overall, not a bad day in the Ozarks at all. It will be kind of dreary, but the warm up in temperatures, I think people are still going to be getting out. We've had such winter weather around the last 2 weeks. A little bit of hazy sky and low clouds and not going to hold us back today. Additional rain is in the forecast for the weekend. And overall, I'm seeing a very warm end to the month of January, which is a welcome change for us. Several disturbances moving through this week, though, creating puddles and muddy conditions for us. I think we're going to hold on to that not only through the end of this week, but also into next week as well. The temperature outlook, 2 thumbs up. We are going to see temperatures above average January 30th through the first week of February too. High temperature today, I'm going 52 degrees for the Springfield region. Overnight tonight, we will stay above freezing. In fact, I have a stretch of days above freezing, not back to the freezing point until Saturday morning, and that's a low temperature. We'll see highs in the 50s generally each and every day, today, tomorrow, and Friday. A little bit cooler by Saturday as that next round of rainfall comes through. It does come with a cold front and pushes our high temperatures back into the middle 40s. Around the country, what's making headlines, I already mentioned that heavy rainfall potential and flooding potential for the lower Mississippi Valley. That does not wrap up until Thursday afternoon. So it's going to be a very soggy day for those parts of the country. A swath of freezing rain on the radar this morning, actually, in the lower Great Lakes, and that will be impacting the Northeast. We already had our dose of freezing rain this week. We're done with it. It's moving on east as we head through the rest of your Wednesday. And then we're also talking about much milder temperatures, not just here in the Ozarks, but so much of the country is going to see kind of a thawing process here in the next couple of weeks, which is a welcome change and will open things back up just a little bit, which is really, really nice news. All right, it is time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. This is the question that I left you with yesterday. Ancient Romans believed eating what would boost your intelligence? What do you think those Romans liked? Was it A, figs, B, honey, C, mint, or D, pomegranates? If you guessed A, figs, you would be correct. Figs. I did not know this. Roman troops would actually carry ropes of dried figs with them on their conquest because they knew that they were nutrient dense, but they also thought that they could boost intelligence. In fact, Plato was so fond of figs that he was once nicknamed, quote, fig eater. Not a very creative nickname. And he advised his young students to eat plenty of figs as well because he said they boost your intelligence. Apparently, the Roman Empire was built on figs. They would even bring them to their conquest. So, who knew? Do fig Newtons count? Then I would be very smart. They probably count a little bit, right? Is there real fig in fig Newtons? I'll have to look that up. All right, here's your brain twister trivia question for tomorrow. What state is ranked number 1 for hiking according to fitrated.com? Do you think it is A, Alaska, B, Utah, C, California, or D, Arkansas? Best state for hiking. You can submit your guess. Do that over at aroundtheozarks.com. I'll have the answer for you early tomorrow morning. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Enjoy the warmer temperatures, 52 degrees. You don't even need that big, thick winter coat today. Numbers will stay above freezing tonight too, but grab the umbrella. Don't forget it today. I think you're going to want it. And don't forget, download that Around the Ozarks app. It's going to give you access to all of our podcasts, all the platforms, and you can also see them in the video format there in order. Easiest place to watch and listen. So download Around the Ozarks. Just search it in your app store. Thanks for listening, and I will chat with you again early tomorrow morning.